Welcome. I'd like to take a moment and just discuss these electric vehicle chargers, if you will. There's, how many are there? There are four at this location, and there are three different kinds, so it gives you an opportunity to discuss the relative merits of each one. All right. Okay, so what do we have? Now, a lot of times you'll see some online discussions, or even with some of my own family members, about electric vehicle charging, and people say, hey, why do they bother putting in these 50 kilowatt chargers when you can put in 300 or 500 or 200 or 100 kilowatt chargers? Well, I'm going to explain. Here, first of all, you're going to notice that at this moment no one is using these chargers. Why? I'm standing in a part of North America that has probably the highest concentration of electric vehicles of anywhere, and no one is using these chargers. Okay, the reason why no one is using these chargers is because, first of all, they're practically everywhere, with the announcement of actually in the coming couple of years, before 2030, which is what, 5 years away or something, is they've also announced 100,000 new plugs are being installed in this province. But we have the highest concentration of electric vehicles, and no one is using these chargers because, well, nearby there are others that you could use if you're so inclined. But more importantly, essentially everybody charges at home or nearby their home on slower chargers that they can just charge overnight. It's quite convenient. But let's talk about this. So here we have a 180 kilowatt charger. There we have another 180 kilowatt charger. You'll notice that the cables are very, very long, so that you can pull that cable and attach it to just about any kind of electric vehicle you could imagine, from a school bus to a large cement truck, to a garbage truck, to a Ford truck, to a GM truck, any kind of truck or car that you want. Now, and also, in terms, when you're starting to design something, one of your plans in designing is to keep it simple as possible, and no more simple. So this cable is it's a simple cable. It does not have liquid cooling, and it simply works. And the way it accommodates 180 kilowatts, which is a fairly high level of current, is to just make the cable thicker. And yes, it winds up being a little tiny bit. You can see that it's heavy a little bit, but it's manageable by practically anyone. Okay. And I'll tell you, when you plug into this 180 kilowatt charger, if your car will accept 180 kilowatts, and not every car does, but if your car will accept 180 kilowatts, you plug it in, bingo, you're getting 180 kilowatts. Magic. So if you're charging up your Ford F-150 Lightning, you're getting 180 kilowatts right off the hop. Okay. If your car will accept 180 kilowatts at that particular state of charge, and the charging curve and all that stuff, you bear it in mind. But 180 kilowatts. Now, 180 kilowatts, the price is per minute or per hour, and 180 kilowatts, they just have a little bit of a higher price. Okay, so if you're in a hurry, that's the way you go. Okay, 180 kilowatts. There's two of these. Now, also here we have a 100 kilowatt charger, and I'll tell you, a lot of cars, that's what you'll accept, is 100 kilowatts, and a lot of circumstances not dictate. Nothing's dictated. We live in a free world. You can do whatever the hell you want, more or less. But your personal circumstance, you might be like the negative of 180 kilowatts. Because really, when you charge up your car, even if you're in a hurry, if you're on a trip, you're looking for about 40 kilowatt hours or 50 kilowatt hours. So 50 kilowatt hours on a 180 kilowatt charger is going to be about 15 minutes, which is less time than it takes you to get your coffee, or to, for your family to use the washroom, or whatever the case may be while you're on your road trip. So at 180 kilowatts, then you're kind of rushed because you're panicked. Not panic, people don't panic, but you're conscious of the fact that your car is charging and it's going to be finished really quickly, and you're standing in line to get your McDonald's or your Burger King or your poutine or whatever strikes your fancy, and lo and behold, your car's finished charging, and you're still paying really, and you just want to leave. So it's kind of not always great to have super high speed charging. 100 kilowatts, it's a bit slower. So your circumstance may be like, okay, you know that when you stand in line to get your coffee, that it's going to take about maybe 25 minutes from the time you leave your car till the time you come back. And this charger works for you, works for your car, and it works for you, so you're happy. And these ones are a bit less expensive. The price is lower than these ones. And I don't even know. I had to check if I was recording. I'm not very good at this. Now, over here, we have this 50 kilowatt charger. And with the same idea, you might be going to have a whole lunch. And then you know that you're going to need about 40 kilowatt hours to get your car up to 80% or 90% or whatever it is you're striving for. So let's use this one. And this one is the least expensive of all these options. Now remember, the pricing here is by the minute. And so even by the minute, you want to consider it in how much does it cost to charge your car. And the 50 kilowatt option is going to give you the lowest price per kilowatt hour of any of these choices. And the 50 kilowatt charger is a great charger if you're going to have lunch, if you want to take a little bit of time, or if you know that your children take a while. And these chargers are located at a grocery store. So if you're going to take 30 minutes to get your groceries, there's your friend. Or 40 minutes to get your groceries, they're your friend. If you're if you're a faster grocery shopper and there's no lineup, try this one. If you're driving in a Hummer that needs 100 kilowatt hours to charge up, there's your friend. Okay, but here we have, there's choices, there's options, and they are perfectly reliable. These are the most reliable chargers, bar none, that are available in North America. They are simply the most reliable. Full stop. There's no qualifier there. That's it. This is what you want to be using. Or actually, you want to be using the charger that you happen to be at, and you want it to work reliably every single time, and these ones simply do. So all of North America, I think, can take a bit of a lesson from Hydro-Quebec and Circuit Electric, and these items are they're fantastic. You heard me say it before, I'll say it again. They're fantastic. But the noteworthy thing is no one's using them. The reason no one's using them is because people charge at home. I charge at home. On my street, every single person has an electric vehicle, and every single person charges at home. In my neighborhood, practically everyone has an electric vehicle, and everyone charges at home. Speaking of charging at home, my neighbors come over and charged at my place while his charger was being installed. So not only can you charge at your house, but you can charge at someone else's house. All right, that's my speech on electric vehicle charging today. And this is an example of public policy and macroeconomic policy as applied to government in action. There you go. These things, they didn't magically appear by themselves, and lo and behold, and these Quebec guys, they're not fooling around. These Hydro-Quebec has undertaken to maintain these items and to install them and to make sure that they're working perfectly always. And basically that's what happens. They work perfectly always.